morning and welcome to day one Leads for Free Challenge live here at my office. I'm going to make sure that you have action steps every single day. I am going to make sure that you have something to do every single day. So in your business, you're actually taking steps. I know that getting a bunch of information might sound sexy, but it doesn't lend you to actually taking action in your business. It doesn't lend you to getting leads and making money. And that is what we're all about. This is the Money Maker family. And we don't just count other people's money. We're not just a bunch of accountants, a bunch of bookkeepers, a bunch of financial pros who just like to count other people's millions. We want to make our own. And that's what I'm here to teach you. Let me know in the comments if that sounds good to you. If it doesn't sound good to you, if it doesn't sound like something you want to do, let me know, because maybe this is the wrong place for you. Maybe this is the wrong type of challenge for you, because what we are here is money makers and action takers. One of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to get some clarity, because we cannot get clients unless we are clear. So often we go out into the world, we're like, listen, I have this skill. I am a business owner. I am going to go get some clients, right? And how many of you are serving? You are an accountant, you're a financial pro, you're doing taxes, bookkeeping, something of that nature. And you're going out there and you're like, I can do it. I know how to do this service. And then no one comes, right? No one comes. Why does that happen? Number one, no one knows about you. You have almost no visibility. The only one who knows is maybe like your spouse or your partner, or maybe the job you left when you said, I'm gonna leave and start my own freelance business. And they're like, yeah, good luck, right? So there are three parts of this equation. Ready? Three parts of this equation. Who do you help? What results can you get them? And how do you do it? So let me hear in the comments, who do you help? Because if you are not clear on who you help, no one else is going to be clear on that either. It is like having a letter that's addressed to nobody. Who's it for? And so the letter just sits there on the table and no one ever opens it because it's never been addressed. When we're talking to who, what should we do? What can we do? What if we qualify them? What if we qualify our clients? We give them specific qualifications. When it comes to the who, let's just get really clear, really like 3 words. If you have to do 4, if you have to do 5, let's qualify exactly who they are. 6-figure mastermind owners, 7-figure mastermind owners, right? 7-figure coaches. And by the way, what do they call themselves? Do they call themselves contractors? Do they call themselves coaches, right? So this is just the first part of this. Qualify the who. Next part of this is where I see accountants typically go wrong. Let's talk about the result. What results do you get them? Put it in the comments. We're gonna probably go a little deeper into the results, because this is where I see people get a little unclear. I typically ask you to lean into 3 things. One of 3 things, not all 3, one of 3 things. Health, wealth, relationships. Because what are people willing to pay for? To salvage. People are willing to pay to salvage those 3 things. So which one of these do you think that you solve? And can you put it into 1 to 3 words? I'm gonna challenge you guys on this. 1 to 3 words. I see paragraphs. You guys have given me paragraphs of the results you provide. Can you give me 1 to 3 words? Alex says, increase profits. If you are an accountant, if you are a financial pro, if you are on here, my CFOs, my tax providers, everything you should be saying to me should have to do with wealth. Every single one of you. If you are in here, it should have to do with wealth. Increase profits, right? You need to get clear on the results that you are giving to your ideal client. Increase gross profits, increase profitability, keep more money. Thank you. Reduce tax liability. There it is. So what do we have now? I help who get results. This is your system. This is your process. This is your mechanism, right? And so some of you are like, Alyssa, I don't have a system. I don't have a process. I don't have a mechanism. Yes, you do, girl. Yes, you do, dude. So number one, what you can do before we get to the how, I'm gonna write this down. So what was your result, right? You write that down. My result is gonna be, I make 7-figure accountants, right? So not that 7 figures doesn't really have 7-figure accountants, but I have a guarantee. So we have a 100K guarantee, and we guarantee that you'll get 25% of your time back. So what I would do is I would write down all of my steps, right? We can number them. So first step would be, and this isn't like, you guys, I hear this all the time. Well, the first thing that they would do is they would have to sign the contract. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about signing the contract. I'm talking about if your result is increased profit, what's the first thing that they would have to do? What's the first thing you would do? You'd probably have to get into their QuickBooks, right? Do a diagnostic review, all right? Number two, so I look through the general ledger and I would reduce the expenditures, any unnecessary expenses. That's the first thing I would do. 3, I'd look for opportunities to increase revenue. And then by the end of this, maybe I figure out a 4 and a 5. And so obviously there's micro steps in between this. There's micro steps, but this is my overall encompassing process. And then maybe by the end of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a 5-step plan. And so this becomes your how, and your how becomes 5-step financial freedom system, right? The other thing that you could do is run this through ChatGPT. Write all these steps down and put it in ChatGPT and say, hey Chat, the name of my business is Ledgers to Leaders Inc. So Ledgers to Leaders Inc. And this is my 5-step process to helping accountants make $100,000 in a year and getting back 25% of their time so they're not working as hard. Can you help me come up with a name for this system? Like, give me 10 good names. Use ChatGPT. Like, that's a great way of doing this. So what have we covered today so far? We've covered who, results, and how. Now you are clear. You have clarity. Again, I'm gonna say, this is for now, not forever. You're gonna change that statement. You're gonna change this information over and over and over again until you land on it. When you're like, hey, yeah, I actually help 7-figure contractors add more profit into their company with a 7 magic money system, people wanna know more. They're gonna ask more questions. They're gonna say, oh my gosh, you help 7-figure contractors? You know what? My brother-in-law is a contractor. It helps you to show up with confidence. When I first started my business, I started locally, number one, focus there. I thought that I would find clients in the contractor space, like in the tree industry. But honestly, I had a really hard time finding them locally. Not because they weren't there, but because they didn't need my services. And so I moved on, right? And I ended up working in the health industry. And I ended up working with dentists, pediatricians, chiropractors, and that ended up being my niche. My niche ended up picking me. And so this is definitely for people who kind of already maybe have an idea of their niche and ultimately start focusing on something. Like, I would at least pick something. These are the kind of the questions I have. Like, if I were to ask you to pick something right now, go out and like go find a client. What do you know how to do? Who have you served in the past? Who do you feel most confident helping? Who could you easily connect with? Most people that you get on one of their lives, they're gonna say, my way is the only way to do it. Well, my way isn't the only way to do it. My way is gonna work for you if you resonate with me, if you trust me, if you believe me, if you're like, you know what, Alyssa sounds really smart and I just wanna pick a way to do something and I trust this girl. She seems like she knows what she's doing. I resonate with her and I wanna follow a system that I think will work for me. And so we're gonna talk more about what that system looks like this week. We're gonna talk about where to find these leads. We're gonna talk about optimizing your profile this week. There's so much more that we have to do, but you can't do any of it without having some clarity.